We've got a crash log here from mxracer33x. Let's go ahead and watch the video because it's relatively short. Okay, so I don't know where your volume went during the flight. The motor sound went, but obviously the motors were running. Let's back up and take a look at what happened. At this moment, motor 2 goes to max, and the other three motors go to minimum, basically shut down. Why did that happen? Well, I don't know why motor 2 went to max. Well, actually, yeah, I do. I don't know why motor 2 stopped running, and that's what happened. Motor 2 stopped generating thrust. That caused the arm to drop, which caused the copter to spin up motor 2, or the flight controller to spin up motor 2. So that's why motor 2 went to max. Whenever you have a failure in one of your motors, be that your prop comes off, your prop is loose, so it's not generating thrust, you get a desync and your motor stops spinning, you get an ESC powered down and your motor stops spinning, any of that stuff. Whenever a motor stops generating thrust, that motor will go to max because the flight controller will need to make it make thrust, and it'll try to make it make thrust, and when it doesn't make thrust, it'll try harder and it'll end up maxed. So why do the other motors go to minimum? That's a little harder for me to answer definitively, but I'll throw out a theory. I say that because I'm not sort of steeped in the code of the PID loop the way that people like Boris are, the developers. So, but I can throw out what I think is an intelligent theory. Once a motor reaches maximum, let's say you're trying to roll left and you're also doing some other stuff, and you know your number one motor, so your back right motor, you're trying to roll left, so that motor is spun up. Let's say you're also pitching forward, so that motor spins up even more to the point where this motor maxes out. Well, how can but you're still not getting the desired angular rate. So how can the flight controller make you roll left and pitch forward even faster? The answer is it can spin down these two motors, and when it spins down these two motors, can't spin this one up any faster, but it can spin these two down. And that will make you pitch forward faster. And if it spins these two motors down, that'll make you roll left faster. So if we imagine that you were commanding a hard forward pitch and left roll at the same time, what would happen is this motor would spin all the way up and the other three motors would stop running. So we ended up in a state, because this motor stopped generating thrust, where the copter was spinning to the right and forward, and the flight controller needed to make that stop. That was the most important thing for it to do. So when this motor maxed out, these other motors, by association, went to the minimum, to idle. So that's what was happening there. We can also try to answer the question of why this happened, and that's a little harder to answer, but if we watch the flight video, we can get some insight. So first of all, did the flight controller power down? No, because the black box log is still present. If the flight controller powered down, the black box log would end. So that didn't happen. Did a failsafe occur? We can look right here. Thank you, Nick, for logging the failsafe, or thank you, thank you whoever coded that pull request. Maybe it was Nick, maybe it was someone else, I don't know. But thank you to them. We can see that failsafe is in idle for the whole log. Failsafe never changes, it's idle. So I don't actually know what the failsafe modes mean, but it's in idle the whole time, so clearly it didn't suddenly activate there. So this is not a failsafe event. But if we listen to the audio, what do we hear after the crash? Oh, did you hear it? The three tones from an ESC rebooting. There you go. So I heard an ESC reboot. Now, I can't know whether that was one ESC or three ESCs because they all chime at the same time. Or sorry, all four ESCs. We have four ESCs on a quadcopter, which is what I believe this is. But my guess would be that the number 2 ESC powered down somehow. Either sometimes that can be caused by thermal overload if it has thermal protection. Most likely that it's bad soldering. It's you've got a bad solder joint somewhere, or just a damaged ESC if it's been crashed one too many times. But yeah, that's you said that you went back and resoldered everything and it's been fine since, and that would be my guess as to what will probably fix it, and that would be the first thing I'd recommend. Um, the other thing I would say that you might see in situations like this is you might have gotten a desync. And I don't think you did get a desync, but if you got a desync, like a really bad desync, you might end up in a situation like this. Oftentimes a desync will spontaneously recover and you'll have the arm drop, but then you won't just crash into the ground. But regardless, if you do have a desync, you will not hear the ESC giving its arming tones or its power up tones afterwards. You just have the crash. So that's my analysis, and hope it's helpful, and happy flying.